Robbie Nash is constantly on the search for the ultimate wave riding experience, and here in the Amazon River basin of all places, he may finally find it.
I heard of a pororoca in northern Brazil, still little known, and which had the potential to be the longest wave in the world. This wave breaks 80 kilometers from the ocean, and it's quite extensive. This endless wave occurs closest to the autumn equinox full moon. The pororoca phenomenon is basically a tidal bore. And what happens is if you have a really big tidal differential, a place that has 5, 6, 7, 8 meters of tide difference, and you get a river that feeds from the ocean during that tide, if the differential is really high, it can create a wave as the tide flows into that river.
For Robbie, this is completely unknown territory. He's gonna need the help of a local surfer named Noelio, who knows the pororoca and, crucially, all the dangers associated with this unique wave phenomenon.
Noelio has surfed over 140 pororocas in Brazil, China, and Indonesia. He's privileged to live in the Amazon, close to some of the best pororocas in the world.
The greatest dangers of riding the pororoca are the alligators, snakes, and piranhas. And the night before the big wave, there are also many tree trunks floating around, and you really have to watch out.
Not hitting any of those things, not falling off.
But to ride the pororoca, Robbie and Noelio first must get ahead of the wave, which can travel up to 800 kilometers inland. This part of Brazil is extremely remote and inaccessible. Just getting to the jump-off spot is a wipeout of sorts.
I only slept about 1 hour and then had to get up at 4:30 a.m. It was still dark. The pororoca surfing is really the only one you can schedule with nature. It has a specific date, time, and the right place to catch the wave when the tide fills in, so we can't be late, and every detail is important. We stopped and listened to the sounds of the forest for about 10 minutes before we could see the wave.
In the language of the indigenous Tupi people who live here, pororoca means big roar, and now Robbie is about to feel its full force. Traveling at up to 65 kilometers, that's about 40 miles per hour, the wave crushes everything in its path.
Go, go, look over there!
Nash will need to be super attentive and enter the wave at the right time and place. No amount of buildup can prepare this legendary waterman for what he's a part of here. He's surfing the Amazon River. And although the wave peaks up to 1.5 meters, Robbie still needs a little help from his paddle.
Well, today the wave wasn't really connecting from peak to peak. Hopefully tomorrow with a bit more tide, that wave will last longer and we'll get more of a ride.
For Nash, it's equal parts anticipation and frustration. The next swell is a whole day away.
This is really unique. The pororoca is completely different. I mean, we're out here in the middle of, in the middle of the farmland in Brazil in a river, and up in the dark, out to catch a wave that we know exactly when it's going to come, and it's definitely unique. Quite an adventure.
And day 2 begins with great promise. With the tide rising overnight, the pororoca has gained enough power to push Robbie along the river. And by catching the wave at the perfect point this time, the American's able to surf the endless wave he's always dreamt about.
My whole experience here has been awesome. And I've been chasing wind and waves my whole life, and this is definitely one of the most unique experiences that I've had. One of the most unique environments, and for sure, the longest wave I've ever ridden. Yeah, right now this trip basically makes me more passionate and motivated to keep going, searching for the world's longest waves. It's an adventure that never ends. There's a lot of waves to be ridden, and I can't wait to get out and continue to explore.